up for the Owls, be batting first here in the top of the first. We have number 7, Johnson. He is the center fielder for the Owls. And first pitch is getting ready to be on the way. Hunt winds up, throws it in. First pitch is a strike. That's how you want to start the season right there. You want to start the season with a strike. And like to see him start the season with a strikeout. Hunt brings his second pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 2. 0-2 now to Johnson, the center fielder for the Owls. Here's a third pitch. A little bit delayed call, but it was a ball. 1-2 now. Hunt advances the count. Hunt gets his sign. Here's the pitch. A little bit high for ball 2. Count 2-2 now to Johnson. I know the Tigers, after last season, would sure like to get a win today over those Owls. Fouled back by Johnson, straight back over home plate. And that was a high bounce fly ball. Not sure where I parked. I hope I didn't park in the line of fire there. But that was a long fly ball. 2-2's the count. And he gets him swinging on the third strike. Johnson goes down. There's one out. And Hunt records the first strikeout of the season for the Tigers. Next up, number 10, Claywell, the left fielder for the Owls. Hunt winds up. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Count 0-1 now. Here's the next pitch on the way. Strike 2. Called strike 2. 0-2. One away here. Foul ball over the first base side. And the crowd wanted strike 3 on that one, but didn't get it. Count goes to 1-2 now with one away to Claywell. Here's the pitch. He started to go, decided not to go. That'll make it 2-2. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Hunt throws over to Poston at first and records the second out of the inning. Top of the first, no score. 2 outs. Next up for the Owls is going to be number 3, Gammon. He's pitching today for the Owls. Left-handed batter, probably favors that short field that they'll be playing on tomorrow down at Smith County. Here's the first pitch to Gammon. A little bit low, ball 1. Count 1-0 now. 2 away, no score, top of the first inning. Here's the pitch, swing and fouled off down the third base side. Count goes 1-1. Hunt gets his call, winds up. Here's the pitch. Looked a little bit high. 2-1 is the count to Gammon. Batting third in the lineup for the Owls. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That was just a little bit high, too. Hunt wanted that one. Gammon's a tall player, and so I think some of the crowd wanted that one, too. Count 3-1 now. I will apologize to the listeners out there. My voice is a little bit weak. I've been under the weather for the last few days with my voice. I hope it holds out for the game. But lots of hot coffee and a little bit of Jesus, and maybe it'll hold out for the rest of this game. Count goes 3-2, full count now. 2 outs. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ooh, breaking ball, called strike 3, and the inning is over. The Owls scoreless. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first. We're going to take a break here. And then when we come back, the Tigers are going to be at bat here on opening day 2024 here on 102.1 WLCT. Braylon Flowers up to bat for the Tigers. Flowers swinging a miss on his first pitch. Strike one. 0-1 now the count. Here's the second pitch. He watches that one a little bit low. Count 1-1.
First batter for the Tigers, number 20, Flowers.
Gammon doing the work on the hill for the Owls. Here's the pitch, way high. Count goes 2-1 now to Flowers. Flowers playing shortstop for the Tigers on opening day. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Count 2-2. Braylon, the leadoff batter for the Tigers. Braylon gets his signal, steps back in. Here's the windup. Breaking ball hit right down the third base line and going to go foul just before it's picked up by Martin. And so that'll bring Flowers back to the batter's box to try again. Count 2-2 now. No outs. We're in the bottom of the first inning as your Macon County Tigers are taking on the Smith County Owls here on opening day. Braylon steps back in. Here's the pitch from Gammon. A little bit high. Full count now. 3-2 to Flowers. Gammon winds up, throws, and swing and a miss. Strike three. And so the Tigers will record their first out of the 2024 season. Next up, Hayden Dean. Designated hitter for the Tigers. Dean would like to get it going here and get on base. Gammon delivers the pitch. Hard pitch. Hard swing. Strike one. 0-1 now the count. There's one out. If you're just joining us here on 102.1 WLCT, we're in the bottom of the first as the Tigers are taking on the Smith County Owls. That's going to be a base hit. Shortstop dove for it. Tried to get to it, hack it, but couldn't get it out of the dirt in time. He stopped the ball from going to left field, but that's going to be a base hit for Dean, and I probably, if I was scoring that, I probably wouldn't charge that as an error. I'd probably charge that as a base hit because that was what we called an extraordinary effort that Hackett made and wasn't able to make the play. So base hit for Dean as he gets on base. That's going to bring up Soup, Caden Woodard, also known as Soup. And it looks like Dean ran into what started out to be a double play, but they did get him at second, but Soup reached first before they were able to make the double play. So with Dean out at second, that is two away now. Soup is on first, and up to bat is number 34, the first baseman, Hayes Polston. Hayes Polston's got a big bat. We've seen him use that in some of these scrimmages leading up to the start of the season. Little check swing on that, strike one. Count 1-0 now to Polston. Soup Woodard on first. Polston steps back in. Gammon, the pitcher, gets the signal. Gammon winds up. Here's the throw. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Count goes 0-2 now to Hayes Polston. I have seen Hayes get a hold of one over to right field, and he can hit the ball hard. Gammon winds up, delivers the pitch. It's high. Soup's going to steal, and he's able to get under the tag and make the steal. That was a good throw by the catcher, Martin, over to the shortstop, Hackett. But just under the tag, Soup slid head first and reached second base. Great base running by Soup. Count 1-2 now with 2 outs. No score yet in the ball game. Gammon checks his runner. Fires home. Check swing. Strike 3. And so Polston goes down swinging on 3, and that will end the first inning. When we come back, we'll have the top of the second and the 4th batter in the order for the Owls. You're listening to the home of the Macon County Tigers on 102.1 WLCT.
County, batting number 14, T. Martin.
Welcome back. Macon County High School, where the Tigers are taking on the Owls of Smith County. Up to bat for the Owls, number 14, the catcher, Martin. Jacob Hunt still doing the work on the mound for the Tigers. Here's the pitch, hard hit ball right in the gap between right and center field. Rogers picks it up, throws it in to Lloyd, and that's going to be a base hit for Martin. And so the Owls get one on base.
Next batter for Smith County, number 8, King.
Number 8, King, coming up, the first baseman. And so it looks like Martin is going to get a courtesy runner. Probably a good idea. Martin's a big old boy. And they've got one that is not quite as big at all on the base path now as a courtesy runner for the catcher. 8, King, the first baseman, steps into the batter's box. Hunt, the lefty, senior lefty, checking his runner over on first. Throws home, just a little bit low. Ball 1. Count 1-0 now. Hunt throwing from the stretch. Here's the throw, also a little bit low. Count 2-0. There's no outs. The Owls have one on base here in the top of the second inning. Hunt checks his runner over on first. Delivers the pitch. Delayed call, but did he call that a strike? They've got way delayed call. They've got ball on the scoreboard, but I thought he called strike also. I think it should be 2-1. Now they're changing it. 2-1 is the count. He waits about a full second to make the call on those strikes. That's a little bit tough for the guys in the booth. You know what I'm talking about? Here's the ball hit towards center field. Wheelie calls for it. He gets up under it, makes the catch for the first out of the second inning for the Tigers. Good hustle by Wheelie to get under that.
Next batter for Smith County, number 1, Long.
Matthew Wheelie out in center field made a great play. You probably heard Matthew Wheelie's name during Tiger football in the fall. Running the ball some out there on the field, making an impact player. Also doing the work here for Macon County baseball. Hunt throws over to first, but not in time as the runner there, what's that runner, 28, Latham. Latham gets back quickly, the designated runner for Martin, the catcher, who got a base hit earlier. Here's the pitch from Hunt. He's pitching to number 1, Long, the right fielder for the Owls. No score yet, top of the second. Counts 1-0 with 1 out, 1 on base. Hunt delivers the pitch. That's high. Ball 2. Count goes 2-0. Smith County typically, historically, has been a hitting ball team. They hit the ball regularly. Here's the steal attempt, and he falls on his way. Soup throws over to first. He gets up, recovers himself, and gets back to first, but looks like we had a bobble at first of the ball, and so he was able to get back. He was dead man walking there on the base path, but I think Soup was going to see if he was going to go on to second or go to first. And by the time we made the throw and had to bobble, he got back. So no harm, no foul. Count 2-1 with 1 out. There's the pitch, and that is a strike. Count 2-2. That was a nice-looking strike from Jacob Hunt, the senior. Latham takes his lead. Hunt, watching him on first, delivers the pitch home, breaking ball, hit straight up, called for, and not caught. It's hard to see in the sun if he caught that or not, but it looks like that was Gage Jones over on third base. He called for it, but didn't make the catch right in front of the dugout. So the Tigers with a missed opportunity to get a second out right there, but that's going to bring Long back to the plate because it was in foul territory. So foul ball, kind of again, no harm, no foul, but getting that second out would have been awfully nice. Count goes 2-2 now with 1 out. Hunt throws over to first. Latham gets back. Hayes puts the tag on him, but not in time. Count still 2-2 with 1 out. The Owls have 1 on base, and they have the right fielder Long at the plate. Hunt from the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a grounder over to Flowers. Flowers makes a great athletic play to Hayes Polston, who stretches out and makes a bang-bang play at first base for the second out. Great play from Flowers to Polston there.
Up next for Smith County, number 22.
So 2 away now, and Latham advances to second, and that brings up number 22, Vance, the designated hitter for the Smith County Owls. Hunt still pitching from the stretch with Latham on second, taking a generous lead. That pitch is just a little bit high. Count 1-0 now. We're in the top of the second with no score, with 2 outs. Jacob Hunt delivers the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Count goes 1-1 now to Vance, number 22. Hunt gets his sign. Good pitch. Hard swing. Strike 2. Count 1-2 to Vance. 2 outs. I know Hunt would like to get out of this inning scoreless again. Hunt checks his runner. Nobody's holding him on. They're going to let him pitch to the batter. There's the pitch, a little bit outside. Soup did a good job of getting that one. Count goes 2-2 now with 2 outs. 2s across the board in the top of the second with 2-2 at the plate. Need to buy a lottery ticket. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, check swing, and strike 3. And the Tigers, again, get out of the inning. And Hunt came off the mound excited as well. He should be. We're going to be back with the bottom of the second, and the Tigers will be batting here on 102.1 WLCT. We're back in the bottom of the second. Matthew Wheely up to bat for the Tigers. Gammon still on the hill for the Owls. Here's the pitch to Wheely. He watches that one. Count 2-0. Both of those pitches have been low. No score so far. The furthest anyone has gotten is second base in this game. Wheely watches that one outside. Count 3-0. And I'm certain he gets the signal to watch the next one and don't swing at all, no matter what it is. And Wheely's going to walk on 4 straight pitches. Next up, number 2, Jordan Rogers, the right fielder. I meant to say earlier, we saw Wheelie make a nice fly ball catch in the second inning, top of the second inning for the first out. Got into that ball quickly and camped out, made a great play. Right fielder Rogers up to bat. Wheelie on first base. He's going to bunt. He shows bunt, fouls it back, and I believe the catcher got a little piece of that, didn't he? Yep. That didn't feel great, but he's okay. He's a big guy. I wonder if he plays football. I bet he plays football. Yep. He looks like he could be trouble on the football field. Wheelie taking a pretty good lead off first. Rogers steps in, especially against a left-handed pitcher, and here comes the throw. Wheelie's able to get back. You're taking those big leads on first against a left-handed pitcher, you better be confident of your ability to get back. Gammon with the 0-1 pitch. Wheelie takes a big secondary lead. And so count now 1-1. The only strike so far was a fouled bunt attempt by Jordan Rogers. Right fielder Rogers, senior, steps back into the box. Here's the pitch. Inside. 2-1 now is the count. No outs. The Tigers have one on first. Here in the bottom of the second. Rogers steps back in. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. The Owl crowd wanted that one, but it was a called ball 3. Was a little bit high. Or no, wait, was it a delayed call on the strike? They've got 3-2 on the board. Here's the pitch. That is strike 2. Yeah. Now we have a full count. Some of our players, the Macon County players, run the scoreboard. And sometimes the scoreboard is not all that accurate, but they eventually get it fixed. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming to Rogers. And that's low for ball 4. And so Gammon walks the first 2 batters of the bottom of the second, putting Matthew Wheelie on second, Jordan Rogers on first. And up now, number 32, Gage Jones, the third baseman. Jones has opportunity here with a base hit to maybe score one. No outs at the bottom of the second. There's the pitch to Jones, and after a delayed call, strike 1. 0-1 now. Still no outs. Here's the windup. Here's a hard hit ball right up the middle. Second baseman gets it. He tries to make the double play. They get him at second, throws it away, trying to make the double play to first. And Wheelie's going to come across the plate for the first run of the 2024 season. Matthew Wheelie scores it. The Tigers go up 1-0. They got Rogers at second. Tried to make the throw to first. Jones was hoofing it down to first base. Bad throw all the way over to the fence, and Wheelie could have walked in, but he didn't. He sprinted in all the way for the score. Next up, number 42, Landon Connor, the left fielder. Junior for the Tigers. He shows bunt. He pulls back. Strike 1. 1 away. Tigers up 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Gage Jones is on first. Matthew Wheelie is no longer on the base path after scoring the first run for the Tigers. Connor steps back in. Gammon checks his runner at first, delivers the pitch. Hard swing, but strike 2. Count goes 0-2 now to Connor. Gammon gets his signal. Winds up, throws. Strike 3. Goes down swinging. So 2 outs for the Tigers. And that will bring up number 1, Braxton Lloyd. Second baseman, senior for the Tigers. As you can tell, the Tigers have several seniors on the team this year. Here's the pitch from Gammon. Lloyd fouls that one just over the press box, right over our head. Count 0-1 now. 2 outs. Gage Jones on first base for the Tigers. Tigers lead the Owls 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Lloyd calls for time, steps out of the box. Everybody relaxes for a sec. And now Lloyd steps back in. Gammons gets his signal. Pitching from the stretch. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt. Count 1-1 with 2 outs. Lloyd steps in. Gammons winds up. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Wasn't fouled off, but I think the catcher may have taken that one in the mask. Count 1-2. Two outs. Gammon checks his runner. Lloyd calls for time late. Umpire granted him time late. And so it's a no pitch. Count still 1-2 with 2 outs. Gammon's throwing from the stretch. Lloyd calls time again and steps out. Umpire grants time again just as the pitcher was getting ready to start his windup. And that's the 3rd strike called for Lloyd, and that's the 3rd out. And that will end the inning. Tigers up 1-0 over the Owls. When we come back, we'll bring you the top of the 3rd. You're listening to 102.1 WLCT. Here's the pitch from Hunt. Hard hit fly ball. Wheelie's going to try to get under it, and Rogers actually made the diving play. Couldn't get under it. They're going to try to get him at second. Not able to make the connection at second. And so looking at a double from Testa, the second baseman. Again, that's another play that I would not score an error on Rogers' part. He dove as far as he could stretch and didn't make the play. For it to be an error, you have to, under ordinary effort, could they have made the play. And no one could have made that play under ordinary effort. So that's going to be a double in the books for Testa. Number 5, Hackett, the shortstop, coming up to bat now for the Owls. Jacob Hunt, the senior, still working on the mound here on opening day. Testa at second base. He shows bunt. Hunt pitches to him, but it's going to be high for a ball 1. Hackett made the out at second in the bottom of the second when he got Jordan Rogers out at second and almost made the double play, but after the bobbled throw, Matthew Wheelie scored. And thus the Tigers are up 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd. Second pitch is a strike. Count 1-1 now. Hackett shows bunt again. He pulls it back, but then the umpire calls strike. Count 1-2 now. No outs. Testa, the second baseman, is on second base for the Owls. 1-0 your score. Tigers lead. Hunt checks his runner on second. delivers the pitch. Hard hit ball. Wheelie is able to make the catch. Wheelie is able to make a falling forward catch and catch it just right at the top of the ground. And the umpire made the right call on that. Great play by Wheelie. Matthew Wheelie, that's 2 fly balls he's caught today for outs. And so now we've got 1 out. Martin, number 11, the third baseman, is coming up to bat right now. Jacob Hunt on the hill for the Tigers. We've got the umpire having a conversation, possibly with the Smith County coach. Okay, now we're back to action. All right, Hunt still checking his runner on second. Here's the delivery. That's straight up and straight back for a foul ball. Count 0-2 now with 1 out. Tigers lead 1-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. The third baseman, Martin, batting for the Owls. Hunt shows a throw back to second. Doesn't throw it. Nobody was holding him on. But Testa got back in a hurry, diving back to second. Here's the pitch home. Ball 1. Count 1-2 now with 1 out. Hunt gets his signal. Here's the windup. Here's the throw. Delayed call again. Now it's strike 3. 2 away. The Owls have 1 runner on second. 2 outs. Tigers leading top of the 3rd, 1-0. They're back to the top of the order. Number 7, the center fielder, Johnson, coming up to bat for Smith County. Hunt throwing from the stretch. Here's the delivery. Hard swing, strike 1. Count 0-1. Hunt's really doing a great job on the hill today for the Tigers. Hackett taking a generous lead on second. Check swing, and the field umpire said, yes, he went. Strike 2. Count 0-2 now with 2 outs. Hunt again would like to get out of this inning with no score from the Owls. Here's the pitch, breaking ball. Strike 3, called strike 3. What a great looking pitch from Jacob Hunt as Johnson goes down for the 3rd out. And that'll end the top of the 3rd. When we come back, the Tigers going to be batting. You're listening to 102.1 WLCT, your home for Macon County baseball. Bottom of the 3rd here at Macon County High School as the Tigers take on the Smith County Owls. Braylon Flowers up to bat for the Tigers. Gammons, number 3, the pitcher for the Owls. Here's the pitch to Flowers. Bobbled right down the 3rd base line. Foul. That was right at Coach Jason Hudson over there. I was going to tell him, be sure he gets his backside down on that if he's going to make that play. But the 3rd baseman got it before it got to Hudson. I like to tease those coaches a little bit. Here's the pitch to Flowers. Breaking ball. Still a little bit high. It broke, but not quite far enough. Count 2-1 now to Braylon Flowers, the leadoff batter in the lineup and the leadoff batter of this inning. That looked low, but the umpire thought it looked good. So that's a 2-2 to Flowers now. You know what we say, the strike zone is where the guy wearing blue makes it. So even on those low pitches, they better be digging. And he did. Here comes another low pitch. He gets by the third baseman. Shortstop can't make it in time, and Braylon Flowers is on first base with a base hit. He pitched that low strike again, and Braylon got a hold of it that time. Good job by Braylon Flowers on first base. So the Tigers get one on base. Bring it up number 17, Hayden Dean, the designated hitter. And Flowers has some speed on the base path, but he is dealing with a left-handed pitcher. Gammons throws home. Dean with a hard swing. Again, hits it foul right toward Coach Hudson. Outside the third base line. Count 0-1. No outs. The Tigers lead the Owls by a score of 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Gammons checks Flowers over on first, delivers the pitch, swing, strike two. Count 0-2 to Hayden Dean. Dean steps in. Gammons throwing from the stretch. Here's the pitch. High. Ball one. Count 1-2 to Hayden Dean. Braylon Flowers over on first base. Tigers leading 1-0 in the bottom of the third. No outs. Gammons pitches. Flowers goes to second. Here's the throw down to second. And again, Flowers gets under the tag. Good throw by Martin down to the shortstop, Hackett. And he barely made it under that tag, but he made it. The field umpire calling Flowers safe for a stolen base for Flowers. Great job. Hayden Dean still batting for the Tigers. Count is 2-2 with no outs. Now Flowers on second base. That's going to be low. I know the umpire in this game on both sides likes them low, but that was a little too low for his liking. Full count now, 3-2. 3-2, excuse me. With no outs, Tigers up 1-0. He checks Flowers over on second base, who's getting a nice lead. Here's the pitch, fouled straight back. Remains a 3-2 count. Flowers stays on second base. Flowers showing some of that basketball / football / baseball speed on the base path today. Great job stealing second base. Here's the pitch from Gammons. Hard hit ball to left field. Left fielder's back, and he makes the catch right at the fence. That was a hard hit ball by Hayden Dean, who can hit the ball hard when he gets a hold of it. Nice hit, but just a little bit short of going over that wall. And the left fielder is able to make the grab back at the warning track. That keeps Braylon Flowers on second. Going to be one out, and that brings up Soup. Caden Woodard, number 7, the catcher for the Tigers. Caden, a junior, does a great job behind the plate for the Tigers. Here's the pitch from Gammons. It's high. Braylon is definitely giving the pitcher something to think about out there on second. He's taking a good sizable lead. And that's his job out there, is to make sure the pitcher pays attention to him and not the batter. Here's the pitch from Gammons. Swung on. Straight up foul ball. That's going to bring the count 1-1 with one out. Tigers up 1-0. We had a 2-2 with 2 outs in the second. Now we got a 1-1 with 1 out with Tigers up 1-0. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count 1-2 now. Still 1 out. Braylon Flowers still on second base for the Tigers. And Soup Woodard at the plate. Gammon still doing the work for the Owls on the mound. Pitching from the stretch. He delivers. Ball hits straight up. Looks like second baseman's going to call for it. He gets the fly ball just in the edge of the infield for the second out. And that leaves Braylon Flowers again on second base. And that brings up number 34, the first baseman, Hayes Polston, another big bat. Polston, the junior, first baseman for the Tigers, steps in. Gammons checks his runner, delivers the pitch home, and it's going to be a little bit low. Ball one. Count 1-0 now. 2 outs. The Tigers lead in the bottom of the third inning by a score of 1-0 over the Smith County Owls. Gammons checking his runner. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit low, too. Count goes 2-0 now to Hayes Polston. Flowers still taking a generous lead on second to the left-handed pitcher, Gammons. He checks him, then delivers, check swing, strike one. Count 2-1 now to Polston. 2 outs. And the Owls looking to get out of this inning without letting the Tigers put another one on the board. Here's the pitch from Gammons. Hit toward left field. It's going to be foul if it's not caught. But the third baseman able to get back and make the catch, Martin. And so that'll be 3 outs. That'll end the third inning. And when we come back, we'll have the top of the fourth. Tigers lead the Smith County Owls by a score of 1-0. And we'll be back right after this. You're listening to 102.1 WLCT. Jacob Hunt still pitching for the Tigers. Doing a great job on the hill today. First pitch is low, ball one. That's hit hard to right field. Jordan Rogers looks like he's going to get under it. And he is able to make the grab. 1 out. That's a quick out for the Tigers. That's what you like to see. Great play by Jordan Rogers in right field. And that's going to bring up number 3, Gammon, the pitcher for Smith County. 1 away. Here's the pitch from Jacob Hunt. Breaking ball. And a little bit low. Ball one. I keep having to wait on this delayed call to see if he's going to call it a strike or not. Ooh, that's a little bit high. And so that's going to be ball two. I'm going to keep up with it here. Looks like our player scoreboard operators are a little bit behind. We've got 2 balls now to Gammons. Or Gammon, I should say, the pitcher. There's a pitch from Hunt. A little bit low. Ball 3. 3-0 now to Gammon. There's 1 out. Tigers leading 1-0 in the top of the fourth. Here's the pitch. There's a swing. It's hit hard to center field. And that's going to bounce into Wheelie out there. He'll pick it up, make the throw in for a base hit for Gammon. That brings up the catcher, number 14, Martin. I should say T. Martin. Don't know his first name. Not T-E-E like the UT football player, just the letter T. But there's an R. Martin on here as well. But Malone Smith, the Smith County coach, didn't put their full name on there. So all we know is T and R for Martin. But both of them are Martins and don't know if they're related. But we do know that T. Martin, number 14, is batting right now, and it's 1-0. Here's the second pitch. That gets away from Soup to the backstop, and that's going to send Gammon down to second base. somewhat unusual. You have Gammon not only batting as the pitcher, but also running the bases. A lot of times they'll use a courtesy runner or a designated hitter. But he is hitting and running the bases today. Count 2-0 now. Here's the pitch to Martin. Looks like Lloyd's going to make the grab, and he throws it away, way over Hayes Polston's head, and that's going to bring in a score. And so the Owls even it up. Score 1-1 now after the throwaway from Lloyd over to first
Now batting, number 8.
on the ground ball.
Smith County.
And that's going to Martin's going to step off, and it looks like they're going to have the courtesy runner. They're using the courtesy runner instead of for Gammon. They're using it for Martin. As I mentioned before, Martin playing the catcher position. He's a big guy. He looks like he could be a football player. So Lapham was running for him last. Are they not going to put anybody on there? Or did he get the second? Oh, you got the second. Excuse me. Is that Lapham still 28? All right, Lapham. It's kind of hard to see when the sun is right in your eyes. Lapham is on second base for Martin. And Soup's going to call the infield in. Have a little chat. Motivate some of his guys. Settle them down a little bit. Tell them they're okay. Owls. Even the score 1-1 here in the top of the fourth with the courtesy runner on second base. Still have one out from Rogers' catch earlier. And so now Hunt is going to be pitching to number 8, King. Fouled back, straight back towards Soup. And so now we've got 1-1 to King with one out. Tie ball game. Top of the fourth inning. Lapham on second base for Smith County. Hunt checks his runner. Throws in. Gage Jones missed the ground ball. And then Flowers also unable to pick it up. And so that's probably going to be charged as an error. But nevertheless, King is going to be on first base. That's going to put runners at the corners at first and third. Lapham is at third with King at first. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, number 1, Long, to the plate with one out. Soup communicating signals to his infield like they typically do when you have runners at the corners. Case of a squeeze or a steal attempt from first to second, which is likely. Hunt checks his run over at first, delivers home. King did not go to second base. Still at the corners. Ball 1. Count 1-0. That one was outside and just a little bit high. Hunt checking both runners now. Throwing from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. Count 1-1 with one out. Top of the fourth, Tigers 1, Smith County Owls 1. Runners at the corners for the Owls. Hunt delivers the pitch. That's high. Count goes 2-1 now. After a couple of infield errors, the Owls have tied this game. Soup throws down to third after a generous secondary lead from Lapham, but unable to get there in time. Jones was able to make the catch and put the tag on him, but Lapham was able to get back. Count 3-1 now with one out. Nice pitch from Hunt, and that is strike 2. Full count, 3-2 with one out to Long. King still on first. Has not attempted to steal second. Breaking ball didn't break quite far enough. And so he walks him. And he walks the bases loaded. And that brings up 22, Vance, the designated hitter. And so Soup and Austin Craighead, the assistant coach for the Tigers, going to come out and talk to Hunt a little bit. So, Cadence, we mentioned that you're going to be starting this week, starting as early as tomorrow, calling games for Red Bowling baseball, softball, and also Macon County softball. Let me ask you this. You're getting pretty close to graduating.
Yeah.
Not too far, just in a couple of months.
Months.
Well, what are your plans after you graduate?
Probably go to Vol State for my 2 years, and then either transfer to Tennessee Tech or Western.
Fantastic.
I'll either become a physical therapist assistant or major in sports management.
Fantastic. That's a great plan. I tell you what, I can recommend Western. That's my alma mater. I am a Western alumni, and so is my wife. And anybody who asks about it, I will always recommend Western. It's a great school, great place. Bowling Green's a great place. Here's the pitch from Hunt. He's pitching now to 22, Vance, the designated hitter. Bases are loaded. And somebody just sent me a text. It's Ty and Riley Martin. That's the Martin boys' names. Ty and Riley. Thank you for that info. That may have come from Barry. Ty and Riley Martin. There, now we got it. We'll make note of that for sure. Here's the pitch from Hunt. Hard hit ball. Caught by Polston. Line drive. Caught by Polston. Polston dives to tag the runner. Field umpire says that he missed him and that he was able to get back to first. Polston disagrees. So he appeals and is unsuccessful in that appeal. And so there'll be 2 outs. But Polston wanted all 3 outs there with bases loaded. 3 outs would have been nice, but we'll take the out that we got. Next up is Testa, number 15, the second baseman for the Owls. Bases are loaded here, and so I know that Jacob Hunt, after talking with Coach Craighead on the mound, talking with his infield, he'd like to get out of this inning if he can at all. Here's the pitch to Testa. And that's a strike. Call 1-1 now with 2 outs. Tie ball game in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch from Hunt. A little bit low and inside. Count goes 2-1 now. Hunt definitely doesn't want to lose this one. There's the pitch. Soup did a nice job of framing that, but still was a little bit high. Count 3-1 now with 2 outs. That was a super athletic play by Hayes Polston over there on first base. Here's the pitch, a little bit high. He walks him, and that's going to walk a runner in. And the Owls are going to take the lead 2-1 now in the top of the 4th with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Hackett, the shortstop.
Next batter for Smith County, number 5, Hackett.
Hackett, number 5 for the Owls. Here's a hard hit ball to the shortstop. Oh, to Flowers, and it goes right between his legs. He's not able to make the catch. 1 run scores. A second run comes in. They try to make a play at home, but Soup can't make the tag in time. And so another infield error brings in another 2 runs. And so now the Owls go up on the Tigers by a score of 4-1.
Next batter for Smith County, number 11, Riley Martin.
Flowers did have an easy play there. If he could have made that grab and just tossed it over to Lloyd on second, they had an easy third out. But now we've got another batter coming up, Riley Martin. Hunt pitches to Martin. He fouls the first one straight back for strike 1. Count 0-1 now. 2 outs. The Owls lead the Tigers in the top of the 4th by a score of 4-1. Hunt throwing from the stretch. Pitches to Martin. Soup going to try to get him at first. Soup made a nice throw down to first, but the tag again was just a little bit late. And so number 5 for the Owls, Hackett, is able to get back to first. He's going to go to second. And after the third swing and a drop ball, there's the tag from Soup. And so that's going to end the top of the 4th inning. But not before the Owls put 4 runs on the board. Score 4-1. We'll be back after this. You're listening to 102.1 WLCT. 4-1's your score. The Smith County Owls leading the Macon County Tigers. They scored all 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Now batting for the Tigers, number 18, Matthew Wheely. Center fielder. Made a couple of nice grabs out there in center field today. Try to get some offense going for the Tigers. Make up this deficit, 4-1 deficit. All 4 runs have been scored on infield errors by the Tigers. Been a few base hits, but mainly it has been errors. There's a swing and a miss for a strike. Count 2-1 now to Wheely here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, strike 2, delayed call. That was kind of a nasty breaking ball from Gammon. Count 2-2 now to Wheely, looking for something to hit. Wheely calls time after a little bit of a delay on the call from the pitcher. Steps out. Now he steps back in. Now he's ready to go. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball, but doesn't fall as far, and that makes the count a full count, 3-2. And swinging, strike 3. That's going to be the first out for the Tigers. That's going to bring up number 2, Jordan Rogers. In the last inning, Rogers made the first out with a nice play in right field, catching the fly ball. And now we have the umpire stopping play, giving some instructions over to the Smith County bench. Don't know what that's about. But nevertheless, here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 1 to Jordan Rogers. Count 1-0 now with 1 out. Tigers looking to generate some offense. Second pitch is high for ball 2. Count 2-0. Gammon winds up. Rogers fouls that one straight up and straight back. Foul ball for a strike. Count 2-1 with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Whew. That was awfully low, but called strike. Two and two. That one bounced off the plate, so we don't need to call that one a strike. Count full now, 3-2, with 1 out to Jordan Rogers. Number 3, Gammon, still doing the work for Smith County. Gammon winds up, and that is ball 4. He walks Rogers down to first base. That's going to bring up number 32, Gage Jones. The third baseman. Jordan Rogers on first base. Try to see if the Tigers can't get some more guys around those bases. Gammon now throwing from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That's low. Ball one. Count 1-0. The Owls lead the Tigers by a score of 4-1, and we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Gammon checks his runner and then throws. Jones watches it. 2-0. Ball two. A little bit high on that pitch. He started to go, but then decided against it. Called strike one. Count 2-1 with one out. To Gage Jones at the plate. Here's the pitch. Now it's 3-1. That was really high. One out. One on base. Tigers have one run. They need three more to tie this game. Here's the pitch. Delayed call, strike two. I felt like that was going to be a strike. He may be calling it verbally for the batter immediately, but only signaling later for us. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on. That's going to be a base hit right between first and second. Rogers is going to grab third, and now the Tigers have runners at the corners with one out. And Landon Connor, number 42, the left fielder, junior for the Tigers, coming to the plate. The tying run is at the plate right now, the left-handed batter. And Coach Malone Smith is going to call timeout, and they're going to have a conversation. They're going to switch pitchers. Gammon, number 3, has done the work for the Owls thus far. But it looks like they're going to be bringing in number 2. Smith pitching from the stretch. His first pitch hits the plate. Ball one. Count 1-0 to Landon Connor. Sun starting to go behind the trees. Makes it a little easier to see here from the press box. But I also see everybody starting to put on their coats down there. Getting a little cool. Here's a hit over to the shortstop from Connor. Shortstop able to jump and make the grab for the second out. And that brings up number 1, Braxton Lloyd, the second baseman. Runners at the corner still. Jordan Rogers is at third. Gage Jones is at first. Lloyd, the senior, second baseman, is at the plate. Here's the first pitch from Smith, and that's a little high. Ball one. Count 1-0 now. 2 outs. Tigers trail 4-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Smith checking his runners. He comes set and then comes unset. I think the umpire's saying he didn't come all the way set. Lloyd may have called time. I was watching the pitcher. Lloyd may have called time and stepped out. Pitcher comes set again. Here's the pitch to Lloyd, and that is strike one. 1-1 now to Braxton Lloyd. 2 outs. Runners at the corners for the Tigers. Smith comes set again. Here's the pitch. Hard hit ball right up the middle. Second baseman diving, not able to make the grab, bobbles it, and that's going to bring home Jordan Rogers. The Tigers get one across the plate. 4-2 is your score. Braxton Lloyd on first. Gage Jones advances to second. Second baseman made a diving play for it, but just unable to come up with the throw that would have ended the inning. So the Tigers are still alive here in the bottom of the fourth. And Braylon Flowers, shortstop, coming up to bat. It appears as though Coach Jason Hudson is going to do some substitution here. And that looks like Tyler Gregory coming out. Going to run the bases for the third baseman, Gage Jones. Gregory has got some serious speed. He showed that during football season. He was an integral part of the Tigers' offense last fall. Did a great job in their run through the playoffs. And so Gregory gets to show off some of his speed, hopefully here on the base paths this afternoon. Braylon Flowers at the plate. Smith delivers the pitch. Flowers lays off of that one. It's a little high. Ball one. Count 1-0 now with 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Tyler Gregory on second. Braxton Lloyd on first. Pop straight up. The center fielder's calling for it, and he makes the play to end the inning. And so after 4, we have the Smith County Owls 4, Macon County Tigers 2. And we'll be right back with more baseball in the top of the 5th. You're listening to the home of Tiger Baseball here on 102.1 WLCT. Going to start the top of the 5th inning with the leadoff batter, number 7, Johnson, the left fielder for the Owls. Jacob Hunt, the senior, is still on the mound for the Tigers. Jacob has done a really good job pitching in this game. We've had some infield error issues that where they scored all their runs so far. But nevertheless, Hunt has really pitched a good game so far. But the Smith County coach is having an extended conversation with the umpire, and now he's going to get Coach Hudson in on the action. They're going to have discussion, and the field umpire is going to get called. Johnson, number 7, the left fielder, steps in for the Owls. Jacob Hunt now climbs up on the mound. Here's the pitch. First pitch is strike 1. Count 0-1 now to Johnson. Second pitch, strike 2. Count 0-2. Nice pitch by Jacob Hunt. And swing and a miss. Ball gets by Soup. Soup's going to throw it down to first. Polston unable to get that throw in time. Soup threw it just a little bit outside in foul territory. Polston had to come off the bag to get it. So the runner on the drop third strike,
Up next for Smith County,
even though he had he was a swinging strike, first base wasn't occupied, so he was able to take first base. So the Owls will have one on base. That brings up Claywell, number 10, for the Owls. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Claywell. Hunt did a great job pitching on that last batter. Hunt checks the runner, throws over to first. Not in time, he throws it away. Gets by Polston, goes all the way to the fence. Polston not going to attempt to make the throw to second. And so on the throw over to first, Johnson will gain second base. Claywell remains at the plate. It's 0-1, no outs, with one runner on second. Owls lead the Tigers by a score of 4-2 in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch home. Here's a bunt. Hunt's going to barehand it, toss it over to Polston on first for the out. They will get the out, but that will advance the runner, Johnson, over to third. And that was the design of that play, to sacrifice bunt to advance the runner into a scoring position. So with one out, Tigers trailing 4-2, it brings up Smith. Number 2, another bunt, and it turns into a bunted fly ball. Hunt steps up, catches it. Runner goes nowhere, still on third, but Hunt makes the second out. So 2 outs.
Now batting for the Owls, number 14.
That brings up number 14, Ty Martin, the catcher for the Owls. Johnson over on third base. And they decide to intentionally walk him, go ahead and put him on base. He's got a big bat, and I think they know it. And so they would rather pitch to number 8, the first baseman, King. So the Owls with runners at first and third. The courtesy runner, Latham, comes in for Martin, like he has done this whole game. And now King is going to step in for the Owls. Soup calls to his infield, signaling them with their play on first, with runners at first and third. With 2 outs, Jacob Hunt looking to get out of this inning. Hard hit ball to the left fielder, Landon Connor, who's able to make a great play on it to come over in the gap for the 3rd out. And so even though the Owls had a plan, they have to leave empty-handed after the top of the 5th. That'll bring up the Tigers batting in the bottom of the 5th when we come back. You're listening to Tiger Baseball on 102.1 WLCT. Smith pitching for the Owls. Here's the windup. Here's the throw. That's low. Count 1-0. Scoreboard is out, so we're going to be keeping the score up here for you and bringing that information to you. And now Coach Hudson is going to have a conversation with the umpire. I don't know if he's making a substitution. He has his lineup card out, but we shall soon see. Only one pitch so far in the bottom of the 5th inning to Hayden Dean. Smith throws a ball, count 1-0. Dean, the leadoff batter in this inning. Tigers looking to catch up here.
Well, we'll have just a moment. Let's remind you of the concession stand is open for you. Macon County High School Band sponsoring the concession stand this time. They have food, and I believe I saw some warm coffee maybe coming out from down there. So go and support our concession stand, please.
Still having a conversation with the umpire. Having an extended meeting. Not sure what that's about. May have something to do with the substitution of the pitcher in the last inning. The field umpire is being called over, and he's coming in on the conversation. Cadis, what do you think it is? You want to take a guess?
Couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
I have no idea also. But whatever it is, it's an involved conversation. The Smith County coaches have not been involved. Coach Malone, Smith Malone is not, or Malone Smith, not Smith Malone, Malone Smith has not been involved in it just yet. And so Coach Hudson is asking a question or maybe not agreeing with what's going on. Now the umpire is going to take the lineup card over to the Smith County dugout. So we may have a substitution protest here. Find out what's going on. Whatever it is, hopefully we'll figure it out soon, and we'll bring that information right to you here on 102.1 WLCT. And we're finally back to the action here in the bottom of the fifth. Hayden Dean up to bat for the Tigers. Latham has come in to pitch for the Owls. He previously appeared only as a courtesy runner for the catcher Martin. But now he is on the hill pitching for the Owls. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a called strike. Count should be 2-1. I don't know. It feels like it's been 30 minutes since he took his first pitch. Tigers trailing 4-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch to Dean. That gets by the catcher. Should give us a 3-1 count. Scoreboard is out. This is a brand new scoreboard. It's a beautiful scoreboard that for the Tigers this year, but looks like technical glitch. It's not working right now. There's a breaking ball. Swung on. Strike two. That should give us a full count. No outs. 3-2's your count to Hayden Dean. I'm pretty sure. That's high, and that's going to be ball four. And so Dean is going to take first base, and that's going to bring up Soup Woodard, number 7, the catcher for the Tigers. Hayden Dean is going to be on first base. Tigers looking to catch up here, down 4-2 in the bottom of the fifth. We had an extended break after a long conversation between the coaches and both umpires and a pitching change. Hard hit ball by Soup. Left fielder back to the fence, and he makes the grab. Dean will trot back to first. Soup definitely put the bat on that ball, but the left fielder able to get a hold of it. It's going to bring up number 34, the first baseman, Hayes Polston, the junior for the Tigers. 1 out. 1 man on base for the Tigers. Down 4-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Polston steps in. Latham on the hill for the Owls. And that is strike one, called strike one. Count 0-1 now to Polston. Latham pitching from the stretch. There's the throw. Polston swings on it, a little bit low, but he swings on it, fouls it off over the Palace. That's what they call the baseball hitting facility here at Macon County. They have called it that for a long time. Call it the Palace. So he hits it right over the top of the Palace, and if you're parked in front of the Palace, you may get a foul ball. Next pitch is high, and so that's going to bring Polston's count to 1-2 with 1 out. Tigers down 4-2 with 1 man on base in the bottom of the fifth inning. Latham checks his runner on first. Here's the pitch. Polston started to go, but then pulled back. It's a ball. 2-2 now. Polston sitting on a 22 count. Really would like to see Polston get a hold of one right here. He can do it. Polston steps in. Here's the pitch. Another hard hit ball, and that hits the top of the Palace. Fouled off on the third base side, right over the new balcony that was added this year for the Tiger fans. Give them a little shield from the wind. Hard hit ball straight to the shortstop, who throws it to second, second over to first. They get him at second, get Dean at second, but they're unable to make the play at first. First baseman has to come off the bag to catch that one. So Polston will go down to first and take first base. But there's 2 outs. Matthew Wheely is up to the plate for the Tigers. Tigers down 4-2 in the bottom of the fifth. Going to need to start getting some men across the plate. There's the pitch to Wheelie, and that's a little low, so it's ball 1. Count 1-0 with 2 outs. Latham pitching from the stretch. Here's the throw. Swung on and missed. Brings 1-1. Wheelie's had a couple of good grabs in center field today. Breaking ball, fouled back straight into the backstop. Brings the count 1-2. With 2 outs here. It's going to be do or die for Wheelie. Here's the pitch. He watches it. And he calls strike 3. There's the 3rd out. And that's going to end the 5th inning. When we come back, we're going to be in the top of the 6th. The Owls are going to be batting. You're listening to Tiger Baseball on your home for Tiger Baseball. 102.1 WLCT. Up for the Owls is the right fielder, number 1, Long. Here's the pitch from Hunt. Hard hit ball to Wheelie in center field. He's able to get under it and make the grab. That's 3 fly balls Wheelie has made a play on this afternoon. Great job for Matthew Wheelie making that play. 1 out now in the top of the 6th inning.
Next up for Smith County, number 15, Testa.
Next up, number 15, Testa, the second baseman for the Owls. And that looked like a good-looking pitch, but umpire thought it was a little bit low. So the count's going to go 1-0. Here's the next pitch from Hunt, and that virtually the same pitch, but that one's a strike. So 1-1 is the count to Testa. Hunt delivers the next one. That's a little bit high. 2-1 to Testa. The senior Hunt doing a great job for the Tigers on the hill today. Here's the pitch. That's a little high and outside. It's going to bring up 3-1. Hunt's going to have to pitch to him now. And he missed just a little bit high. So he walks Testa. That puts one man on base for the Owls. Number 5, Hackett is coming up to bat, the shortstop for the Owls. Testa is on first base. And it appears as though Coach Hudson is coming with his lineup card again to talk with the umpire. And so the field umpire, I think he's just going to go ahead and come on in and talk about it and see what's going on. I don't know if we have another substitution question. Again, quite possibly. Vance would be the DH that would be up to bat. They went past him. And so now Hackett would be up to bat next. Did Vance bat? 22, he didn't bat? Okay. So Vance was the DH for the Owls, but did not bat in the last inning. So Testa was the first batter in this inning, and that may have been an issue that they pulled him out of the lineup as the DH. Had a few substitution problems in the game for the Owls between the pitcher, number 3, Gammon, and Smith came in, number 2, to pitch for him. And then after a conversation, they ruled that Smith could not pitch for him. That's the reason why Latham is in for them. I know several baseball rules, but this one I think kind of escapes me. First pitch to Testa on his second bat of the inning is a strike. And so the count goes 0-1. There's one out. Tigers trail 4-2. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Breaking ball doesn't fall. Count 1-1 now. Hunt pitching from the windup. Swung hard but missed. Count 1-2 now to Testa. You know, Jacob, when he made that walk, I don't know if he knew. He may have thought to himself, I wish I had that back. And now he gets the chance to get it back. And so that pitch is a little bit low. 2-2 is your count. 1 out in the top of the 6th. There's the pitch from Hunt, and that is a strike. That's the 3rd out. I guess they called Testa out and then had him bat again for the 3rd out. So they got Testa out twice in that inning. That's what it appears to be here anyway. But nevertheless, Tigers will take it because that ends the inning. Now it's the bottom of the 6th coming up, and we'll be bringing that to you here on 102.1 WLCT. And so the Testa had to bat again. That's a possibility. Low pitch to Rogers. Rogers gets a hold of it. However, he's thrown out at first. And so 1 out now in the bottom of the 6th inning. On the first pitch of the inning, Rogers hits a ground ball, infield ground ball for the out. That brings up Gage Jones, the 3rd baseman. Here's the pitch to Jones. First pitch fouled off, straight over the press box. 0-1 the count. Tigers down 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th. No runners on, 1 out. Gage Jones at the plate. Latham still on the hill for the Owls. Here's the pitch, swung on, strike 2. 0-2 is the count to Jones. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low, 1-2. Latham pitching from the windup. Jones calls timeout. Umpire granting time. Jones steps out. Now he's back in. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, swung on, missed. 2 outs as Jones goes down swinging. That's going to bring up the left fielder, junior 42, Landon Connor. Connor's made some plays out there in left field today. Done a good job for the Tigers. There's the pitch. Ooh, foul ball right off the catcher's wrist. His throwing hand, it looks like. He's shaking it off a little bit. But, boy, you could tell that hurt. Foul ball right off the wrist. 0-1 is your count. Landon Connor at the plate. Here's the pitch from Latham. Connor hits one to the second baseman. He scoops it up, makes the throw over at first for the 3rd out of the 6th inning. And so the last inning, unless the Tigers can tie the ball game in the bottom of the 7th, the last inning coming up, top of the 7th when we come back here on 102.1 WLCT. Done a great job for the Tigers on the hill. Minus a few infield errors, the Tigers have played a pretty solid game today. And Hunt has done a really good job pitching. Riley Martin, the 3rd baseman for the Owls. Count 1-1 now. There's a hit back to the second baseman, Lloyd. He can't make the grab. And so after the error, Riley Martin will get on first base. think that's 4 infield errors for the Tigers in the ball game. It's going to bring up number 7, Johnson, the left fielder. The Owls lead the Tigers by a score of 4-2 in the top of the 7th. Swung on, hard swing, strike 1. 0-1. Riley Martin on first base. The left-handed Hunt checking him. He's not taking a big lead. He's smart not to. That looked like a good pitch, and it was. 0-2. Strike 2 to Johnson. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Breaking ball. Hunt wanted it but didn't get the call. Count 1-2 now. Looks like we have a foreign object on the field. Possibly. That may have just been a piece of paper. So Connor, the left fielder, umpire calls for him to go pick it up. I think he thought it was a ball out on the field, but it just was a piece of paper. Connor put it in his pocket. We're back to play. Hunt delivers the pitch. He said strike 3. They didn't think it was strike 3, and the Tigers fan said, come on. But he had called it a strike, so 1 out.
Next batter for the Owls, number 10, Claywell.
That brings up number 10, Claywell. He's the left fielder. Johnson's the center fielder. Claywell up to the plate. Still have 1 runner on. 1 out. That was a breaking ball, and that is strike 1. 0-1 to Claywell now. With 1 out, 1 runner on, top of the 7th, the Owls lead the Tigers 4-2. Here's the pitch from Hunt. Hard throw, hard swing, strike 2. Soup throws down to first. Polston gets it, tries to put the tag on, but the runner just barely gets back to first base before Polston puts the tag on him. Otherwise, if he had been 1 step out, he would have been out. That was a good play by Soup. Here's runs. We got a check swing. Strikeout. That is 3. 2 outs now. Gammon. He was the starting pitcher in the game. Is up to bat for the Owls. Do have a runner who advanced to second on that last strikeout. And so the pitch from Hunt, first pitch, 1-0. A little bit low for a ball. Tigers trailing 4-2. They would like to get out of this inning without the Owls scoring any more runs. Foul ball, straight back. Count moves to 1-1. With 2 outs. Then the Tigers will have 1 more chance to come back and at least tie the game, possibly pull out a win. Jacob Hunt pitching from the stretch, has a breaking ball, fail strike. Count 1-2 to Gammon. That was a nice-looking pitch. Hunt steps off, takes a moment, regathers himself. Now he looks in, gets his signal, checks his runner on second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, strike 3. Gammon goes down, and that's going to end the top of the 7th inning. And when we come back, the Tigers are going to have their last chance to tie this game. The Tigers are down 4-2. The bottom of the 7th is coming up. Stay with us here on 102.1 WLCT. Bottom of the 7th. Tigers, Braxton Lloyd up to bat for the Tigers. Latham still pitching for the Owls. The Owls lead 4-2, and it is do or die time for the Tigers here in the bottom of the seventh. Here's the pitch to Lloyd. The 2-0 pitch is now 2-1. Called strike. Lloyd, the second baseman, senior for the Tigers. There's the next pitch, and he watches that one. Called strike 2. 2-2 now. Latham looks in. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Lloyd. Little outside. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's high. He swung on it. He missed it. 1 out. Tigers have 2 outs left to make something happen. Down 4-2 in the bottom of the seventh. Junior Braylon Flowers, number 20, shortstop, up to bat for the Tigers. Looking to get something started here. Breaking ball, called strike 1. That had some serious break on it. Oh and 1 with 1 out. Flowers hits that one hard, but it goes foul down the right-hand side. It's going to bring up 0-2 with 1 out. Bottom of the seventh. Tigers trailing 4-2 to the Smith County Owls. Here's the pitch from Latham. That's high. Count 1-2. Latham pitching from the windup. Breaking ball, hit right down the third base side. Third baseman grabs it. Bad throw to first, and he's unable to get it. He spiked it through a ground ball to the first baseman, who, to his credit, was able to snag it, but not in time. Flowers, again, showing some of that speed. Flowers gets on base. That would be charged as an error to the third baseman. But Flowers is on the base nonetheless, and now he's going to take his lead. With a right-handed pitcher, he can take a little more of a lead now. Now we've got Hayden Dean, the designated hitter, up to bat for the Tigers. Here's the pitch to Dean. That's low. Hit the plate. Count 1-0 to Hayden Dean. 1 out. 1 man on base. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Tigers trail 4-2. Hayden Dean batting. There's a little bit low. Count 2-0 now to Dean. Latham been now pitching from the stretch. Flowers taking his lead on first. That's a little bit low. Nope, he calls it strike. 2-1 to Dean. Bottom of the seventh. Tigers need to make something happen here. He went after the low pitch that time, fouled it off straight back. Count goes 2-2. 1 out. Dean steps in. Hard hit ball down the left field line, but it drifts over toward that Cobb sign, which means it is foul. He got all of it, just a little bit too far to the left. So Dean stays alive. 2-2's the count with 1 out, with 1 man on here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Here's the pitch. That's high. Full count now to Hayden Dean. That's in the dirt, and the sophomore Dean is going to take a walk down the first base line. 2 men on. The tying run was Hayden Dean. He's on first base. Winning run is standing at the plate. Caden Woodard, Soup Woodard. Most people know him as Soup, the catcher for the Tigers. Soup's a junior. He's at the plate for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit outside to Soup. That's ball one. Count 1-0. 1 out. Tigers have 2 men on, trailing 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Soup swings hard on it. Strike one. Count 1-1. Tigers need 2 to stay alive in this game, and they have 2 men on. Here's the pitch from Latham. Breaking ball, it fell too early, and it fell outside. Count goes 2-1. I think he was trying to get Soup to reach for that one. Hard hit ball, possibly to the gap, but it's a high hit ball, so the center fielder is able to get to it. That's going to be the second out. And they throw it in. Nobody advances. Tigers with runners on first and second. Hayes Polston, the junior first baseman, comes up to the plate. Left-handed batter facing the right-handed pitcher. If he gives Polston something to hit, we know Polston can hit it. And this would be a good time to do it. Polston steps in. Latham checks his runner. He pitches to him. He swings hard. Just a little bit under it for strike one. Here's the pitch to Polston. Fouls the second one off. Count 0-2 now. 2 outs. Tigers trail 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hayes Polston 0-2 at the plate, looking to make this happen. Here's the pitch. That's high. That's going to be 1-2. The Owls wanted that one, but it was too high. So it's 1-2 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Polston. That one hit the plate. 2-2. He tried to throw that breaking ball. He was going to try to get Polston on the breaking ball, but it broke too early. 2-2 with 2 outs. Tigers down 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Latham pitching to Hayes Polston. Here's the pitch. Fouled off, straight back into the backstop. Count remains 2-2 with 2 outs. The Owls looking to get out of here with a win on opening day. Tigers looking to see some last-minute fireworks. Latham looks in, pitching from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Hard hit ball straight to the first baseman. And first baseman to first baseman. That's the 3rd out. And that's your baseball game. The Tigers downed by the Smith County Owls by a score of 4-2 in 7 innings. Certainly appreciate you joining us here tonight on 102.1 WLCT.